Good evening, everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of Art of Link organization today evening session on Yog Vaashishtha. नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिंक संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के इस सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूँ। अपने सारे जूम के पार्टिसिपेंट्स, अपने सारे यूट्यूब के व्यूवर्स और अपने सारे फेसबुक के व्यूवर्स, इन सभी का भी आज के इस सत्र में स्वागत है। टुडे वी आर ऑन डे 47। आज हम लोग 47वें सत्र पे पहुंच चुके हैं। तो रोज की तरह हम लोग अपने सत्र की शुरुआत ओम के नाद से करते हैं। लेट अस ऑल क्लोज अवर आईज। अपनी आंखें बंद करके ओम का नाद करते हैं। आराम से बैठ जाए, रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधी, गर्दन सीधी, हथेलियां घुटनों के ऊपर आसमान की ओर खुले रखे। एक साधारण सांस अंदर ले और छोड़ दे। एक गहरी लंबी सांस अंदर ले और धीरे धीरे छोड़ दे। गुरुदेव कहते हैं भूतकाल त्याग करने योग्य है। एक और गहरी लंबी सांस अंदर ले और सांस को छोड़ते छोड़ते अपने भूतकाल का त्याग कर वर्तमान क्षण में आ जाए। यह वर्तमान क्षण नया है। इस नए क्षण का स्वागत ओम के नाद से करते हैं। एक गहरी लंबी सांस अंदर ले गुरु का आवाहन कर ले। आवाहनम 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 पुनः पुनः। गुरु वंदना कर ले। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री श्री गुरवे नमः। Let us pray to the divinity. गुरु से प्रार्थना कर ले। अपने मुख से निकलने वाले हर एक शब्द, हर एक वाणी, अपने सारे कर्म एवं विचार, अपने बुद्धि के अंदर जागृत होने वाला विवेक, अपने स्मृति के अंदर तैयार हो रहे संस्कार और अपने भीतर जो भी अहम का थोड़ा बहुत भाव बाकी है, वह भी गुरु की प्रेरणा से ही प्रेरित हो, ऐसी प्रार्थना करे। मुक्ति और मोक्ष की राह पे चलने वाले हम लोग यदि गुरु कृपा से इसी क्षण मुक्ति का अनुभव कर ले तो भी यह उर्वरित जीवन और यहाँ पे लौट के आना पड़े भक्ति के लिए, सेवा के लिए, तो वह भी गुरु की प्रेरणा से प्रेरित हो, ऐसी प्रार्थना करें। अपने भीतर और बाहर गुरु का सानिध्य महसूस करते हुए धीरे धीरे अपनी प्यारी सी आंखें खोल सकते हो। Slowly and gradually you may open your eyes. So आज के अपने महाआरती जो करने वाले अपने कविता कुशारे एंड हर फैमिली, यह करीबन जनवरी मंथ से कंटिन्यूअसली रोज हमें गुरुदेव की आवाज में ध्यान कराते हैं। बड़ा ही कमिटमेंट इनका है। तो उस कमिटमेंट को आज ग्रेटिट्यूड एक्सप्रेस करते हुए आज इनके माध्यम से हम लोग सुखकर्ता दुखकर्ता जो अपनी गणेशा की आरती है इसको संपन्न करेंगे। ओवर टू यू कविता जी। जय गुरुदेव।
जय गुरुदेव। गुरुदेव के आशीर्वाद से और आप सभी के वती से हम गणेश जी की आरती शुरू करते हैं। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
दर्शन मात्रे मन स्मरणे मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ती गौरी कुमरा चंदनाची योगी कुंकुम केशरा गणित मुक्त शोभतो बरा दुर्दुंबी पुरे चरणी वागड्या। जय देव जय देव जय मंगलमूर्ती ओ श्री मंगलमूर्ती। दर्शन मात्रे मन स्मरणे मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ती लंबोदर पीतांबर परिवर वंदना सरळ सोंड वक्र तुंड त्रिनयना दास रामाचा वाटपाहे सजना संकष्टी पावावे जीवानी रक्षावे सर्व वंदना। जय देव जय देव जय मंगलमूर्ती ओ श्री मंगलमूर्ती। दर्शन मात्रे मन स्मरणे मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ती। जय देव जय देव। कर्पूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसार सारम बुजगेन्द्रधारम सदा रहस्यम हृदयान्तरिन्द्रे भवं नमामि गुरुदेवं। भावी लोकांगन चरण धराम पाहिन तुझे प्रेमे आलिंगन आनंद पूजय भावे ओवाळी तुझे नमः। त्वमेव माता पिता त्वमेव बंधु सखा त्वमेव विद्या सर्वं त्वमेव सर्वं त्वमेव देव। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियेण वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावात् करोमि यज्ञं सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि। अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं सुन्दरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। गणपति बाप्पा मोरया मंगल मूर्ति मोरया।
एक दो तीन गणपतीचा जय जयकार।
ओवर टू यू सोमेश्वर भैया।
So that was Kavita and Kavitaji's family. Thank you so much Kavita ji and family. हमारी तरफ से पूरी टीम की तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और गणपति बापा आपको और आप सभी को भी वह जो सुख करता है, वह जो दुख हरता है, आपके जीवन में यह सुख लाए, आपके सारे दुखों को यह हर ले। और यदि आपके पद पे आपका जो भी पाप है उसके ऊपर कई विघ्न आने वाले भी होंगे, तो यह विघ्नहर्ता उन विघ्नों को भी हर ले। इसी प्रार्थना के साथ हम आपको सभी को धन्यवाद देते हैं। जय गुरुदेव। कविता जी, आपके हस्बैंड कुछ दो शब्द बोलना चाहते हैं, हमारे लिए एड्रेस करना चाहते हैं, प्लीज गो अहेड।
जय गुरुदेव।
जय गुरुदेव।
बढ़िया है, हम आप सब आपके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं और बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि कविता जी और हम सब साथ में हैं एंड वी आर डूइंग सेवा एंड ऑल दीज सेशंस एवरीथिंग।
Thank you so much. Thanks for blessing us with such a wonderful aarti. Now here itself we will continue with the Yog Vaashishtha session. Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much Kavita ji.
Thank you भैया।
Okay, great. That was a very nice. Let's begin our session by chanting Ganesha Shloka. Vakratunda Mahakaya सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। So let's begin with our today's session. In the evening, we conduct these sessions in the English, and the same session will be conducted in the morning tomorrow in Hindi. So today, as it is evening, we'll continue this session in English. So we are now going through Yog Vaashishtha. Yog Vaashishtha, we are referring to this book called Subodh Yog Vaashishtha, written by Suman Mahadevkarji. This particular book is in Marathi, and we also have this another book called Supreme Yoga. No, this Venkatesha, Swami Venkateshananda. So this is also book available. There is also some books available in the Hindi also. So you can refer to any one of the book, and then we can continue with the sessions. Yeah. So we are going through the Marathi book, and whatever is written there, we present in front of you. In the end, we also do the brainstorm session on that. So let us continue this session. Now we are in third chapter, Utpatti Prakaran, the creation of this entire universe, where Vaashishtha is giving the Param Gyan, the supreme Gyan, the supreme knowledge, the self-realization, knowledge of self-realization to Prabhu Ramchandraji. And Ramchandraji has also continued to keep on asking different questions to them, just out of curiosity, and get the doubt clear. So to explain this concept, that how this entire creation is created and how that Chaitya comes into picture, that Vishaya, the outward attractions comes into picture, and the formation of Chitta, that is Mana, comes into picture, and out of this Chitta, this mind itself, the entire universe is created via those Pancha Tanmatras and Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 elements and all this different senses that comes into picture. So now to explain this concept, that this entire thing which is created out of this Chitta, this mind itself is an imaginary, and it is just like a dream we see. It is the dream that the Supreme Consciousness is seeing this as a dream. And that's the reason this entire world is unreal world. Now this concept is so radical in nature, it becomes very difficult for the people who think that this entire body, this entire thing is actually real, and then to understand that as unreal, it takes little bit of time. And for that, only through different stories, Vaashishtha Muni keeps explaining this concept again and again, so that it firmly establishes in us. So to understand this concept, we have seen the story of Padma Raja, Lilavati and Saraswati Devi, how this beautifully Saraswati Devi keeps explaining them, show them the previous birth, this birth, and the next birth also. And Leelavati and Padmaraja continue to keep asking questions to her, and she gives answers to that. So here we have seen that how this entire thing is actually just created out of chitta itself, out of your mind itself. So they see that same chitta is actually getting created. The new birth is forming because of that. Then we also continue to see the story of Rakshasi Karkati. So Karkati Rakshasi, even though she is from the demon family, she could, using her own thought process, she can realize her self-knowledge. So even though she walk on the path, those the tennis, and even the Brahmadev appears in front of, what she asks is something which is very trivial in nature. So that shows that how these karmas, how this sanchit karma, what we can call as a luck or prarabdha, actually they are your purva sanskara only, have an impact on us. And when something comes to asking for something, we should ask something for highest, but this trivial thing we continue to ask because of this, again, this mind itself, because of this trap that is created around us, because of the karmas that we have done in the past. And then again she continues to do this, and she realizes, what is it that I have asked? She again do the tapascharya, she again do the tennis, and again she achieves the atmagyan. And that time she again achieves her own body, return back, and then she attains the mukti out of that. That is how the story is. So what is it that we learned here? Irrespective of whatever your past karma, it will definitely have an impact on you. But your current purusharth, your current prayatna, that is very, very powerful. So if we do our current efforts in this moment, giving our 100%, we will be able to erase the effects of the past karmas also. It's just like a dream. The past is just like a dream. It's worth dropping it. And by doing all these practices, we are actually erasing those past sanskaras and building up these new sanskara of the Guru Vachana and all these things. No, that is the continue. So that is what the learning that we get from the Karkati Rakshasi story. Then we also saw how this mind is very, very powerful. This Induputra, they do this thing in the same thing they sit for a meditation, and on their own, how they attained even the Brahmatva, the Lordship. They become Brahmadev. They form their own universe and become the Brahmadev of that universe, and they create the entire universe of themselves. Like this, they create 10 different universes, 10 suns. So we have seen the power of mind over here, that using the power of mind, we also saw how this particular thing is having a power, that if you do that sankalpa shakti, that drudha nischay, then have that complete faith in what you are doing, then you will also be able to create your own universe. Nothing can stop us doing that. Then we also continue to see that how this body, and there is a subtle body, the manomaheshwari, the subtle body, they actually, how they are different, and how if something is taken up by the subtle body at the level of your mind, how even the body disappears, how it doesn't matter to it. And because of that only, how it keeps on taking the new bodies, different yonis. It goes into different species, but yet the two souls, which seems to be very connected at the level of mind, they seems to take birth again and again, but yet they are remaining together. So we also seen that aspect of our mind. Then continuing to that, we also seen the story of this Ahilya and Indra. So this is a story that how this body is different and all that, right? So continuing that, when we see the conclusions of here, we also saw that how this particular mind can actually uplift you consciously. It can help you to uplift yourself. At the same time, the same mind, we can actually pull you down. That is what we saw in the Chittakhyan. That deep forest is there, and in that deep forest, how this mind itself is wandering here and there and keep hurting itself. So it just gets stuck into all this kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsara, this greed, jealousy, outward attractions of all the five senses, cravings and sorrow and all that, how it gets stuck into all these things and experience the misery in life. So it is so that it's the same mind which can uplift you. It's the same mind can also pull you down. So that is the reason Vaashishtha Muni tells here that Rama, you need to really take care of your mind. Then we also saw this going at today's session. We'll see that how this particular mind itself is the karta and also the karma. No, this itself is the one who is the doer, and itself is the one which the action is being taken care. So here it is like this. It's the form of that manana, which it's continuously keep thinking. Using that thought process, whatever your actions you do actually forms in your at the level of thought. So when such thought comes, some of the thought comes and then go. We do not translate them into action. Now some of the thoughts we taken and then we take a sankalpa of it, right? We form some concept out of it where we just hold on to that particular thought, and now that particular thought, when we want to express it, it becomes the karma. No, it becomes translated into your actions, kriya, and that start becoming your karma. Now, while expressing this, both the things in this form, either it could be we are doing some kind of punya karma, some good deeds. Again, that becomes your karma. And if you do something and that becomes the papa karma, again that becomes your karma. In both the cases, either it is punya karma or it is a papa karma. To experience the fruit of that, again you take a birth. So how to attain the mukti, how to attain the moksha? Here Vaashishtha Muni tells Rama that we need not do any karma itself. Now what does this mean? Let's not get confused that not doing any action itself. Not having any craving towards an action. Doing your all actions. We are supposed to do all the actions. But I want to do this action to attain this particular type of result. If I do this, I will get benefit, and if I do this, I will get debit of that. Not having any such craving or fear about doing your karma. When it happens, then you get into something called as naishkarima. So that is the karma, means karma. The karma ka abhav hona means though karma is not getting generated. What does it mean? If the karma itself is not getting generated, it means no sanskara is happening. No new sanskaras are happening. Whatever then you see, and when this stage is achieved, when such a freedom, such a liberation, such a self-knowledge is achieved, then the person just keep on doing actions without forming any new sanskara, any new karma. No, just like the state of that akashaj, that Brahman Akashas is not seems to doing any karma. If that state achieve, you experience immortality. Amrutatva ka anubhav, immortality ka anubhav, aap kya karte ho? Not at the level of body, but at the level of your mind and your atma, self-realization. You come to know that nainam chinnanti kshatrani nainam dhat pavaka. हमें कोई नहीं मिटा सकता, ना कोई इसको मार सकता है, ना कोई इसको सुखा सकता है, ना कोई इसको जला सकता है, ना कोई इसको बहा सकता है, कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. You are that शुद्ध चैतन्य आत्मा, शुद्ध चैतन्य ब्रह्मन, शुद्ध चैतन्य शिव. शिवोहम शिवोम is what we experience. So that is what Vaashishtha Muni says, that it's worth dropping all these other outward action, dropping all this ahankara, which is the inertia, jadatva, which is there out of your system, and experience that divinity within, experience that Shuddha Chaitanya within. It's worth experiencing that. It's worth giving all your efforts, towards that. So how these sanskaras get formed? Essentially, it all starts with the thought process. The particular thought process comes, then it becomes, when you pick on that, it becomes your karma, whatever the action that you did. Because of that, the feeling of your karma, feeling of your action becomes, or imagining of your action, what you did, whatever. For example, you ate the gulab jamun, and then after that, sometime you remember the gulab jamun and the bhavana that is jagrut. Now, मुंह में पानी आ गया बोलते हैं ना, that watery mouth. What is that? It is happening because of some feeling. You imagine with your loved ones, and suddenly you feel something. You imagine with your guru, and the gratitude comes into the picture. So these are all feelings. These are all bhavanas. So how are they? Remembrance of your past actions and thinking about those actions now gives you the feelings. So that karma translates into the sanskara, the karmas translate into thinking about it, translates into your bhavana. Those drida bhavana get firmly established in us in the form of smriti, means in the form of karma. And again, because of the to bhogna bolte, so to go through, undergo through the fruits of those karma, you take a birth. Again, you take a birth. No, so that is how this sanskara, what sanskara we are doing on our mind, on all our levels of our existence, are very, very important. And why? For that only what we do the prarthana to Gurudev, to the divinity. कोई अलग अलग नहीं है, गुरुदेव एक ही है, उन्हीं के सामने अपने में ही वही स्थित, वो भी स्वरूप अपने में भी स्थित है, उन्हीं स्वरूप से हम लोग प्रार्थना करते हैं कि अपने मुख से कोई शब्द निकलते हैं, अपनी कोई वाणी निकलती है, अपने कोई कर्म अपने हाथ से होते हैं, कोई विचार अपने मन में आते हैं, जो विवेक सत्सद विवेक बुद्धि जो अपने अंदर जागृत होती है, और जो संस्कार जो बनते हैं, बन रहे हैं, तो और जो अहम का थोड़ा बहुत भी भाव बाकी है, वह भी गुरु की प्रेरणा से ही प्रेरित हो, इस तरह से ही प्रार्थना करते हैं. It is very good that how these sanskaras are very, very important, how all these things are very important to us. No, so when these sanskara happens, how they are in the adrishya bhav. Can we see the bhavana? If someone show the bhavana, can we show? It's something like a material, a bhavana. No, it is adrishya, it is hidden. So that is something which is not, we cannot see it, it's hidden, and because of that only it is called as adrishta, or it is called as punya karma or nashib, or the niyati, no, as purva karma, nashib, niyati, luck, and all this adrishya hidden. These are all names, that synonyms we call that sanskara, because it is something, not something to see, it is just things that we can experience of that effect of that sanskara. So like this, in this adrishya sanskara, this hidden sanskara, the impressions, the fruit of that itself is taking a birth again and again and again. So if you want to listen to this, here now Vaashishtha Muni tell that it's not worth getting into I'm doing this, you are doing that, such kind of thought. How much you can get into all these things, how much value you can give to such a trivial things, and whatever happens out of that, how much far you can take all these thought processes. And if you are to take in how many times you can keep coming here again and again and doing the same thing again and again, you think about it. Now here, to explain this further, how exactly our state of our mind is, here Vaashishtha Muni is telling one more story to Rama. That is something called as Balaka Khyayika. Balaka Khyayika means it's a story like a child. Balaka means the child. This is a story of a child where there are three princes, and they happen to see this something called as Bhavishya Nagari, means the future. Bhavishya means future. The name of that city or that Nagara is called Bhavishya. And then this is the story of that. So now we'll go through the story and then we'll see the moral of the story. So once upon a time, not long back, just in this entire space, in the zero, in the shunya, Akash, just like there is a moon and there are small all these stars, just as an ansh of Chandra, how they are shining, like that only in this shunya Akasha, there used to be three princes living in that Nagari. Shunya Nagari means the Nagari which does not exist. In that Nagari, there were these three princes were living. So all this proud princess happens to live with their parents, and after some time their parents happens to die away. So all the elderly people at the house, they passes away, and now these three princes gets very unhappy. They get into sorrow, and in that state only they leave their home, and then they start going on the Brahman, on the travel. So when they continue to go at a particular place, so out of these three princes that is said, two of them have not taken birth, and one of them have not even entered into the Garbha, entered into the womb of his mother. Like these three princes are. Now these three princes leave their things, and when they're walking on the desert, there is a hot 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and they are experiencing all the hotness of that. And likewise, when they continue, they see there is a greenery over there. So in that greenery, they see there is one vriksha, one tree. They happens to sit below that tree, and just like Indra, Yama, and these three people sit just like that. They sit over there. Now, when they sit over there, they are very tired. They are feeling very, very hot in nature, and they happen to see there are three rivers. Now, these three rivers are there. So, two of the rivers, they are completely dried out, and the third river, there is not an iota. If just like that, there is a blind person who doesn't have the eyeballs in his eyes. Similarly, there is not even one drop of water exists in the third one. And now all these three princes, because they are feeling so hot, they come from such a hot environment, they are still feeling that hotness, they enters into this river, and then they do the snana. They take a bath in that cold river, and they also drink the water of that river, becomes trupta, and then after that they continue to walk on the path. Then after that, they do all the jalakrida and all that. They also drink the water, and likewise they happen to go ahead. So the evening happens, and then they see there is something called as the periphery of one nagari, and they see they enters into one nagari called Bhavishya. That name of that nagari, that city, is called as Bhavishya. So there they see three beautiful temples. Out of that three beautiful temples, the two of the temples were never built, and the one which was built, but it actually did not had any walls of that mandir, of walls of that temple. So they see these three temples, and then they happens to go over there. In that itself, they happens to see there are three pots, and they are shining like a gold. These three pots, and out of these two pots, they were completely burnt, and the third pot was there that was completely broken down. Now these three princes, they go ahead and they pick up that pot which is completely broken, and then they takes 99 bowl of rice, and they put into that, and they cook, and now they invite the three brahmanas for the bhojan. So out of that three brahmanas, the two brahmanas did not have the body itself, and the third one is there who did not have the mouth. And the story continues that the third brahmana, which did not have a mouth, he happens to eat 300 bowls of rice. They cooked only 100. These people, he ate the 300 bowls of rice, and after that, whatever the remaining one is ate by these three, and they are completely contented. They become thrift out of that. After that, so like this, it's like a grandmother telling a story to the grandson or the granddaughter, and how they innocently keep listening, because they cannot comprehend all these things, and they just keep on listening to this kind of story. It is exactly the same state of our mind also, that all these impossible things which can never be possible, all these impossible things, if the mind keeps on looking and thinking and enjoying the story told by grandmother to their grandson, this mind keeps on looking all this outward world, and they keep enjoying that. They get stuck into that thinking that is real. So this mind is such that whenever it gets into the influence of Rajoguna, then it starts thinking very fast. When it gets to the influence of Tamoguna, then it just die out. It just becomes very slow. But yet the power of that mind to create Utpatti does not die out. So likewise, that this has been said that um, by doing the tapas, by doing the upasana, it might take a little bit of longer time, but yet this mind is still capable of creating that what you want to create, creating that universe, creating that anything that you want in your life. We just need to have that complete faith in that it is possible. So with that, we will pause here. This is today's story. Now we'd like to hear from all of you what are your takeaways from today's session. We'll discuss it, and tomorrow we will see the Indra Jalopakyan, Indra Jalopakyan in the form of, there is a story of Lavana Raja. So we will see that story tomorrow. So with that note, I will pause my words, and I'd like to hand over this session to you. That what are your takeaways from today's session? We can discuss that. If you have any questions, you can ask that. And if you would like to share your experience, you can share that also. Over to you, Jai Gurudev. The session is now open. You will be able to unmute yourself and you can speak. If there are no questions, we can go ahead with the sharing. We can continue. Sangeeta.
Thank you very much, Someshwar ji. That was wonderful. What a story. We all enjoyed it. Yeah, I hope even you must have enjoyed it. Same is our mind, you know. There is nothing, no earthen pot, no nothing, but वो मुंगेरी लाल के सपने बनाता रहता है. So beautiful, no? You showed us the whole picture of mind, isn't it? Yeah, we all enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Welcome to all of you for this evening session of Yog Vaashishtha. It's wonderful being with you all. So the takeaway for me today is very simple. Mind is the seed of the action. Mind is the seed. Yeah. And then what happens is it leads to all the fruits also, because it just starts with a thought, as we just heard it. Okay, that thought is that seed, and that thought comes into the mind, and then it manifests there. And then the mind goes and bears the fruit of that also. Like an example of taking a car. So a thought comes, I should buy a car, automatic car. Now which car, come on, this car, that car, Tesla, or what. It goes on in the mind. Then the mind starts searching all these things. We go on the net, we will see, we will ask each other, which has the good this, which has the good leg room, anything, whatever is about the car. And then we reach up to that, we get the fruit. If we can't reach, we don't get it. So it's both the things, like, right? And then mind becomes the body for that action which we have to take, that thought which goes on in our mind. And that creates a movement in the energy of your consciousness. Now it is coming from the consciousness, but then what happens is, we don't know from where it's coming. It's like that. We just go and we do it because we are not knowing our true nature. And then it bears the fruits of its own. And then when it comes to the end, the mind ceases to be and not taking any action. It's the same way, the tree grows from the seed and the seed grows from the tree. Both are mixed with each other, isn't it? And the action and the doer of the action arises, just like a flower and a fragrance. So they are not different from each other. When you see the flower, the fragrance comes automatically, but they are a part of the tree only, isn't it? And they arise from the same tree. So in the same way, the ignorance makes the jivas appear to be real, the ignorance, that veil which is there in front of us. Just like as you know, you see the sky is blue, but is the sky blue? No, it's just an ignorance which appears that sky is blue for us. Okay, so jivas are also born from the Brahman. Everything is born from Brahman, just as the waves are coming from the ocean. And it goes and merges into the ocean. The waves are not different from the ocean, isn't it? Right? So in the same way, everything is born from the Brahman and goes back to the Brahman. If we have that knowledge with us, then what happens? We are saved from all the other things, that is your birth, death, everything. Just as you know, even it is said that when the seasons entered into one or the other, they go on merging and they go on entering. So all this picture that gives us, everything is rising from the Brahman. Even the mind, even the jiva, whatever it is, what you're thinking, it's nothing different. The mind is not an individual consciousness, but it is the infinite consciousness. Only the thing is that veil is come, that ego is come, and the mind keeps on thinking. It relates to all those perceptions that it has, to all those feelings, as he said just now, and he has forgotten that he is that Brahman. And what he does, he identifies itself to the body, and then we keep on doing all that, and then there is all that birth and death cycle. It goes on. And then what happens? You're born in that. But when the knowledge rises, the sun shines, Guru comes in your life and he shakes you up from that dream. It's just like looking at a dream. What happens in the dream? You are there. Everything is been dreaming. You are also there. You're seeing the other person. So real. It's so real. Everything is so real. Even you are real there. Right? Exactly. And suppose you get a $1 million lottery in your dream and you're seeing yourself counting that money. But when you wake up, is that money for you? Can you deposit in the bank? No. But you are, of course, safe from paying the taxes. That is different. But that money is not real for you when you wake up. Isn't it? Exactly in the same way. What happens? We are dreaming in this world. Going on around here, there, everything, running after money, running after the career, here, there, everything. And then what happens? Suddenly you wake up. That is, the knowledge is gone. And you see everything as a dream. Now what? Then you realize that you are that Brahman. And you have to realize that that mind is your Brahman. Everything is in the Brahman. You are the Brahman. And you have to realize. You don't have to repeat it like a mantra. But you have to realize that. Once you realize what happens, the other aspects, the attractions, the hatred, jealousy, whatever comes in your mind, it's all that veil is dropped. And you have a purified chitta, so that avidya, which is there within you, that dissolves. Yeah, and the Brahman is dawn. You become that. That is the realization that I am that. So with this note, I would like to thank you and thank Someshwar ji a lot to give me a chance to express myself. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji, for expressing yourself and sharing. और किसी को अपना शेयर करना है, कुछ पूछना है, तो आप जरूर कर सकते हैं. It's good sometimes, no? Good to speak a few words that firmly established, no? Whatever the understanding. Sometimes if there are any doubts, it's a good idea to clear those, because that's a process that is explained in Yog Vaashishtha. That when we walk on this path, there is a process of where you read, no, that's called vachana, reading this book, any book of your language, choice of your language. Then what we need to do shravana. We all come here, we listen to each other, shravana. Then after you have read, you have listened to that. Then what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to do the manana, chintana. No, so those two things. In the morning session, we also have a breakout room where you all form 2 to 3 people's group together. You go into the breakout room, you discuss about it. Manana and chintana. And then once the doubts are cleared, it is that manana and chintana, your doubts will be clear. Then we also have a Q&A session, question and answer session from 7:30 to 8. There, that is where you can ask questions and listen to other people's question also. Your doubts will be clear, because when we listen something or we read something, we formulate a concept out of it. Is that concept is what is been communicated in the book or not? How do we come to know? We share it with somebody, our group members. They say that, oh, it is this one viewpoint. It could be another viewpoint also. When we see that we gone through the Chittakyan, the Chittakyan is actually talking about the how this mind can pull you down. But many times that doesn't come up, it doesn't. So when we discuss it, in that point of time, we say, oh, this aspect is also very important. So that is the importance of having this brainstorm session. So these are called, in a corporate world, this is called as brainstorm session. So it's a good idea to express ourselves. What are your takeaways? And through that, it will firmly establish for you also, other people also get to learn something new out of it. And that's why it's important. So any one of you, would you feel like expressing, those people who are there, regular members, they do open up, they do share. New members may feel, oh, what do I speak and all that. But slowly and gradually, when that belongingness increases, that you and me are not different, we are only one, just sharing, doing some joy here, playing some games, then you all can open up. So anybody wants to say something? किसी को कुछ कहना है? रश्मि जी, निर्मल जी, मधु जी, कविता जी, डॉक्टर रीता, अनिता जी, काफी सारे लोग हैं. If you'd like to say something, you are welcome to do that. Yes, Dr. Rita, go ahead.
It was a very good session, this Yog Vaashishtha, and I am listening it for the 4th time for the last 1.5 years. And last 1.5 years back, I listened from Swami Omkarananda ji. उन्होंने ये लाइन बोला था कि जो संसार दिखता है वो रियल नहीं है, क्योंकि वो बदलता है, हर पल पल बदल रहा है, पेड़ बदल रहे हैं, हम बदल रहे हैं, बच्चे बड़े हो रहे हैं, everything is changing. So this world is not real. Real is Atman, that remains ever, and that is, we should concentrate on that. But we are into this worldly things, जो बदल रहा है हमेशा ही, इसके अंदर अटक कर रह जाते हैं लाइफ स्पैन में. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rita. Yes, Swami Omkarananda ji, we invited him for a special guest session. We had a guest session with him. Usually we call some guests to speak on Sunday. Today we did not get any contribution.
Right. I recently listened from Nakul ji from Ashram. That was also very good. The 5 sessions from him. It was very good. This sponsored by this Seema Lamba ji, and it was also very nice. Good. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that experience. We invited Nakul ji also here. Nakul also visited us. Nakul ji also gave one session on Sunday. So, Nakul, Yatin, Swami Omkarananda ji. So, our aim is to invite all those dignitaries who have studied Yog Vaashishtha and come and bless us with. So, keep inviting. So, if you feel like, if you have any contact that you feel like we should invite them, they are knowledgeable in this Yog Vaashishtha. Please, you are welcome and feel free to suggest their name, give their contact number, will request and enlighten us with them.
Next, I listened from Mamta ji also, my Sahaj Samadhi teacher. I did from this Sahaj Samadhi 10 years back from her, and now we listened from her Yog Vaashishtha 4 or 5 months back. It was also very good.
Definitely, that's really good, Dr. Rita. Do share her number with us. We will invite her for talking on the...
Okay.
Something, किसी को और किसी को अपने बारे में व्यक्त करना है, आप अनम्यूट करके व्यक्त कर सकते हैं. Jairaj ji, Kavita ji, Kusum ji is also there. Madhu ji is also there with us. Madhu ji, would you like to say a few words? Okay. So आज का सत्र हम लोग यहीं पे समापन करते हैं, स्वल्प विराम लेते हैं, पुनः एक बार कल मिलने के लिए। जय गुरुदेव।